I feel this strong sense, like you're saying, of wanting to fight the spirit of colonialism and have independence. The piece of that I find really interesting is how important the Spanish language is to Puerto Rican identity. And Spain coming in as a colonizer way back then, I wonder what emotions Puerto Ricans have around that. Just like how much do you identify with the Taino culture versus Spanish culture, and how that Spanish language, like this language of the original colonizer, has become now a piece of your identity in fighting your current colonizer.
That's not a unique thing. This is all over the world.
Yeah, true.
Like in the U.S., you speak English, and you have to do because of the English in there.
Right.
But in the U.S., we believe the U.S. is not a nation. Basically, it's a prison of nations and nationalities.
Mm-hmm.
And they took the land from the Indians and from the Mexicans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now they are outlawed, one way or the other. But the common language is English, even though the Puerto Rican community, most of the Puerto Ricans speak Spanish. You have a lot of people from Mexican ascendancy that speak Spanish. And so the way we see it is that the Taino language is incorporated in the Spanish language.
It's in the way you say your Spanish.
Because a lot of the words, like for example, hurricane is the Taino word. It comes from huracán. Huracán used to be the bad, the evil god, because it will destroy the agriculture and all that. But it comes from the Taino word.
Okay.
And there is a lot of other words that are incorporated in other languages, like hamaca. It's the Taino word. Hamaca. And so, like that, you have a lot of expression, like when you say, that comes from the Taino.
No.
And so, a lot of, like one study they did a few years ago, even though we know, in the scientific study, is that most Puerto Ricans have Taino genes. That's what you say, genes?
Yeah.
Genes.
Yeah.
Taino. So that we have not just language parts in our language, which is a Puerto Rican Spanish, because Spanish is all over Latin America, and the Argentinians speak different, the Chileans, the Uruguayans, the Mexicans, the Cubans, we all have our, accent and words. And sometimes you have, like, you know what mango is? Mango, right?
Yeah,
the
mango.
fruit.
Yeah.
So here we say mango.
Okay.
In Dominican Republic, they say mango. So you can tell who is from where
they're from,
because of the way you pronounce, certain words. But so I would like to speak Taino, but I can't because But the thing is that languages change, historically change. So we are not that worried about that. What we are worried is that we speak Spanish and we don't want to be imposed another language.
Yeah, you don't want to have
Be the
everybody
Russian, Chinese, whatever.
Yeah.
We speak Spanish. And we speak English, but not everybody speaks English.
Right.
And most of the people who speak good English are the pro-independence people. People who are for statehood, they don't even know how to speak English. So it's like an irony,
Yeah.
And
can you tell us about this painting?
The painting. Okay, this painting is titled La Máquina del Tiempo, Time Machine. If you see, there is this image there. It's like a clock, right? And since when you are in prison, time becomes a very present thing, all the time, because most people want to come out from prison. So time is one of the things that define a prisoner, right? So in this painting, I try to converge the idea of escaping prison and the idea of ¿cómo se dice burlar?
Mock.
Mock.
Yeah.
The prison, structures.
Okay.
So the figure is a little bit distorted, and the face is more realistic, right?
See that?
And it seems that it was put there, and then el lazo de la horca. How do you call that?
The noose.
The noose.
Yeah.
Is also symbolic about how you broke that, and it basically symbolized to escape prison, right? And so it, in a way, it's autobiographical, right?
Yeah.
But also it's more universal in the sense of the sense of freedom.
Yeah, your own freedom, but
being
also
prison.
follow. So do you feel like Puerto Rico's in prison, kind of symbolic?
Well, that like I have the time that I spent in prison, I began to write more about the relationship between the struggle and art. And so when I came out, they asked me, "How do you feel being free?" I said, "I always been free. Now I'm incarcerated."
Yeah.
But I feel that Puerto Rico, as a colonial country, is an open prison. I was in a closed prison, and I came back to an open prison. And the thing is that in Puerto Rico, more and more people are afraid to even go out at certain times because the criminal activity is very high. And a lot of people have, ¿cómo se dice? Reja. La
Gates.
reja.
Yeah.
Huh?
Gates.
Gates.
Gate?
Gates. Yeah.
Really?
Like locks, like to keep people out.
Like, well,
Like security.
las rejas it became as an ornament in this area of San Juan. So everybody would do their own rejas, right?
Yeah.
But then it became a necessity
Right.
of security.
I follow.
But they come from